He was a letterman in 2 different sports at Utah State University, but Earl Lindley made his name in football as a running back in an era when the program included 2 other Aggie legends in Dave Kragthorpe and LaVell Edwards. Earl scored 13 touchdowns as a senior. That led the nation in scoring with 81 points, and that drew the attention of pro football scouts. The Chicago Bears drafted him, but he chose to play professionally in Canada, and it was there playing for the Edmonton Eskimos that he became part of 3 straight Grey Cup champions. A severe shoulder injury cut short his playing career. He's been voted into the Utah Sports Hall of Fame, and tonight becomes the newest member of the Utah State University Athletics Hall of Fame. Please welcome Earl Lindley.
Probably the best game I ever played was against BYU. We played them the first game and we won by 1 point. The next year they beat us by 1, and so it came my senior year. I had a really good game. I was running over people. Dick Felt, who played pro ball, he was a defensive halfback, and I run the end, and I happened to kind of run over him, and then I had 3 chances. I got him twice, and the third time he just got out of the road, and I just kept running. I thought that was kind of one of the best things that I'd had. I remember one time we were playing Idaho in Boise, in our senior year, and we were down on about the 3-yard line, and they called a play for me to go, and I made about a yard, and then they gave me the ball again. I just about made the touchdown, and the players was going, well, what are we going to do? Lamont Lamb says, get the damn ball over the goal line. And so we spread it out a little bit, and then I took the ball and went in. But that's about the only time I think we scored 3. I scored 3 times in that game. I played basketball when C. Spaker was there. And the starters was Bert Cook, Darrell Tucker, Keith Sewell, Bill Hall, Bob Harberson. I averaged 18 points and about that many rebounds. And the next year, then as a sophomore, I got out of football for the first day out of football. We got on a bus and went to California for basketball. 10 days, and we slept 3 days on the bus, saving money. But it was a pretty good experience. When I was a sophomore, I think the 2 things that was probably the best was I got in the game over at Wyoming and scored 10 points. And then a couple weeks later, I started against BYU. And there was a lot of funny experiences in there.
So you lead the country in scoring. The Chicago Bears draft you. You decided to go to Canada. What was involved in that decision?
I think it was the 6th round that Chicago picked me. And at that time, the Edmonton offered me $5,500. Plus, if you got in the playoffs and kept going, you could make it as high as $1,000. I think one of the things that helped a little bit too is in Canada, we never did play on Sunday. We'd play, sometimes we'd play Saturday night and Monday night. It worked out really good. I've been reading all the clippings we have. My wife Marilyn's been putting that together, and I've read them all and watched it, and I tell him, crap, I was a pretty good football player. We were monkeying around a little bit with the single wing, and I says, LaVell Edwards, he coaches at Granite High School, and I'd played with him in college, and he might be interested. I said, I think he's a pretty good coach. Well, I got, after he says, well, go on up and talk to him. So I went up to Granite and I talked to LaVell, and we'd known each other because we played together. I says, well, they'd like to have you come down for an interview. And going back a little bit, he was from Linden, Utah, right there by BYU, and they never offered him anything. And he came to Utah State and played was all conference and everything. But he said, I said, well, you ought to come and talk with him. And he says, I wouldn't go to BYU for all the money in the world. Those suckers, I don't want anything to do with them. And because they'd never asked him to.
And now inducted into the Utah State University Athletic Hall of Fame.
I think it's, you know, it's really touching to me that you get into there, because it's a tough deal to do it. And there's been a lot of good football players that has gone through and had that honor. And I feel really good about it that I would be able to have that honor.